When I talk about nitric oxide, literally what I say is it's a molecule of life, because it actually regulates, maintains and repairs every cell in the body. Now let's look into a little bit more detail on that. Right from the conception of human life, when the sperm enters the ovum, when the life is created, that whole process is controlled by nitric oxide. If the nitric oxide does not signals the sperm, it won't enter that. Let's go a little further more. Nitric oxide, literally, when we say we are alive, what we mean that is when every living organism breathes. So the breathing process is when we take in the oxygen. Oxygen is tied up with the hemoglobin in our lungs, which is a part of the red blood cells, then it's delivered. That whole process of delivery of oxygen to each cell in the body is signaled by nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, in one way, what we call is a signaling molecule. That means it controls almost every physiological function in the body, from conception to breathing to vasodilatation to immune system regulation, inflammation control. Dr. Tan talked about in inflammation. In immune response, body produces certain cells like macrophages, white blood cells, or which deal with the foreign body when it invades the body. That all that processes of the immune system when it moves is basically controlled by nitric oxide. So it shows even our brain function, our thought process. When our thought process is based on certain neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, all these chemicals are basically able to transfer from one neuron to another neuron based on the nitric oxide production, how much nitric oxide is available for them. So literally, if the body is deficient in today's lifestyle, if you look at the aging process or the stresses of life, they basically decrease the amount of nitric oxide production. And if we can generate more nitric oxide in the body, we can literally prolong life and we can maintain wellness. Let's look at the most common conditions which humans deal with. We deal with diabetes, we deal with heart disease, obesity. For right now, immune disorders, people are concerned about different viruses, people are getting sick more. If you look at, if we have sufficient amount of nitric oxide in the system, we can deal with these conditions. Let's take it one by one. For heart condition, the most important is that people suffer from angina, where the arteries get congested. So in emergency medicine, they use basically nitroglycerin. Nitroglycerin works by releasing nitric oxide. So if body produces sufficient nitric oxide, it can create enough vasodilatation. That means the arteries remain pliable, the circulation remains okay, and the blood can flow, so we can avoid these issues. In case of immune system, if they are higher amount of nitric oxide, the immune cells will work better. The research also shows that the viruses which we are concerned about these days, the H1N1, the viruses like that, also the best way to control them is by blocking the replication of the viruses so they can't replicate, and nitric oxide does that. One of the things which I find unique when we look at a triangle of health, we got sunrise, we got Kiani's sunset, very unique products, and Dr. Tan has talked quite a lot about the benefits of the sunset. But I think the key thing we need to keep in mind is all the nutrients which are found in these products, including sunrise, which is loaded with polyphenols and all the superfruits, and then even in the Kiani sunset we got omega-3s and tocotrienols, but they have to be carried to the area for function. And I think one of the key functions for nitric oxide is when it is generated in the body due to the vasodilatory effect. That means it increases circulation, it makes the nutrients which are needed where the organs are required, where the organs need these nutrients, it becomes that messenger which delivers them to the area of the site.